The altitude presses against your chest. 20,000 feet. Thumb locked on the pickle button. HUD burns green with Heart of Tehran. Coordinates locked. Far below, sirens rise thin and constant from the grid of streets. One breath. You press. The jet shudders once. Plumes bloom white, then black against the night. Radio snaps clear. Broad wave complete. Targets in the heart confirmed. Smoke climbs. Khamenei's death still echoes in the last briefing. Then the screen cuts to black. 3 years earlier. Morning light slices low across the cracked football pitch outside Tel Aviv. Cleats bite dry dirt. Dust rises in slow clouds with every kick. The ball rolls away again. Same field. Same ache in your legs. Tomorrow will sit exactly like today. No difference. The idea of belonging somewhere bigger feels like a distant radio signal you can almost hear but never quite catch. Evening brings diesel fumes from the neighbor's generator. Now you sit in the passenger seat of your uncle's old pickup, window down, engine oil thick on your fingers from helping him earlier. The metal is still warm. You stare at nothing through the windshield while the engine ticks, cool. Cheap coffee from the dashboard cup has gone cold. TV static waits at home, the same channel flickering in the living room every night. Voices talking about places that never touch your street. Any linoleum floors in the hallway stick to your socks when you finally walk inside. Everything ordinary, everything small. One afternoon the decision arrives, without drama. You ride the bus across town. The recruiter's office smells of carpet cleaner and quiet promises. Fluorescent tubes buzz overhead like trapped insects. Papers slide across the desk, crisp and heavy. The officer's voice stays even. Pen hovers above the signature line. Your hand trembles once, not from fear. Fear from the sudden weight of something finally fitting into place. The idea of belonging sharpens. Not the real thing yet, just the shape of it. You press down. Ink flows. The civilian world tilts hard. The boy on the pitch already feels miles behind. Fluorescent light still hums when you step outside again. Hand in your pocket, paper folded. Tomorrow the uniform begins. The ache on the pitch has somewhere to go now. Purpose sits in your chest like new weight. Not light, not loud, just there. Only the sirens over Tehran are 3 years away, but the path to them starts with this single quiet click of the pen. Boot leather creaks as boots hit the sand at dawn. Sweat cuts channels through desert dust on your skin. The squadron runs tight across the Negev. No one speaks. A canteen passes from the left. You drink. Pass it forward. The exchange happens without breaking stride. This is the physical reality of brotherhood forming, in the grind, in the shared burn of legs and lungs. I think ground phase drags every day. Rifle oil coats your hands after range time. The scent follows you everywhere. Chow hall noise hits like a wall each evening. Trays slam, chairs scrape, voices overlap in waves of exhaustion and quick jokes. The air thick with stew and sweat-soaked uniforms. You drop your tray at the usual table. The man beside you slides extra bread your way. No words. Laughter breaks when the story of the morning fall circulates. These moments turn the unit solid. And the belonging becomes something you lean on, something you can touch when the rack feels too empty at night. Cockpit drills take over. Jet fuel bites the air the second you climb the ladder. Harness locks across your chest, canopy seals shut. Between alerts, you tear open MRE packs, plastic crinkles. The taste cuts through dry mouth. Laughter starts low in the ready room, then builds. One pilot mimics the safety officer perfectly. The group erupts. Another leaves an energy bar on your gear without looking. These small things stack up. The squadron stops being colleagues. They become the ones who know the exact weight you carry. The physical reality sits heavy now, warm, necessary. Deployment orders land mid-morning. Briefing room still holds the chill, but your flight suit carries fresh dust from the run. The major reads the sheet flat. Tehran contingency. Squadron slotted for escort in the first rotation. Map lights the wall. In coordinates lock on the heart of the city. The belonging settles like a second skin, tight across the shoulders, ready for what comes downrange. The night training run hits at 0 dark. Simulator bay hums low. Screens glow alive. Target silhouette fills the view. City grid. Buildings outlined. Heart of Tehran in sharp lines. Your finger rests on the switch. Hesitation bites for the first time. The second stretches. The job leaves theory behind. Real stakes wait outside the wire now. Wheels kiss tarmac as dusk bleeds red. Engines spool down slow. You sit longer than needed. Debrief in the ready room. Lights harsh on tired faces. Voice stays level. Minimal collateral projected. The words land heavier than the ordnance you carried in the sim. A quiet crack opens inside. The belongings still warm from the day's shared runs and nods. Yet the first fracture shows clear. Targets no longer clean. A city whose heart beats real now waits. Boots planted on concrete. Light fades. Then the rotation pulls closer with every breath. Nightwave pushes the squadron deep into Iranian airspace. Formation holds razor tight. Your jet sits center slot. HUD burns with Heart of Tehran coordinates locked. Radio voice arrives flat. Regime targets in the heart. Broad wave of strikes. Release authorized. Thumb rests on the pickle button. City grid unfolds below in scattered lights. Command drops. You press. Ordnance separates clean. Jet kicks, light once. Iron lights on the ground fracture in chains. Fire flashes, then settles. Plumes shoot upward. White cores turning thick black as they climb. Cordite tinge rides the environmental system from ground bursts. Chemical bite coats the back of the throat. Your breathing dominates inside the helmet. Each inhale loud and alone. The plumes rise exactly where briefers marked military only. Thermal overlay tells otherwise. Apartment blocks stand clear. Laundry on balconies. Cars parked along streets. Or lights in homes extinguish one by one as smoke rolls over entire districts. Headset static cracks open. Khamenei death confirmed in the opening wave. Putin's statement patches through, the murder called a cynical violation of all norms of human morality. Iranian ambassador at the UN follows clipped. Hundreds of civilians killed or injured. Deliberate strikes on neighborhoods across cities. The words hang loose in the feed. They refuse to fade. Squadron jets stay locked on both wings, and their positions visible against the dark. These are the pilots who trained beside you through every drill. Their presence adds the full weight of the Brotherhood. It anchors the formation through every bank, heavy on the stick, necessary for the orbit. Retaliation chatter floods next. Sirens nonstop in Jerusalem. Alerts across Tel Aviv and the West Bank. Explosions reported near Erbil Airport. Gulf bases taking impacts. Bahrain hit within a few hundred yards of troops. You maintain the line. While scope lights with Iranian launches, missiles arcing south toward Israel and the bases. Second pass aligns. Crosshairs settle on fresh Rejame marks. Dread sits cold in the core, but the squadron weight keeps the hand firm. Thumb finds the button again. Press, release. Jet lightens once more. Additional plumes join the haze below. The crack inside widens into canyon. Obligation to the wings beside feels like chains now. Wheels kiss tarmac hours later. Runway rushes under. Engines spool down slow. So canopy lifts with a hiss. Cockpit still radiates mission heat. Metal ticks as it cools in the night air. Silence rushes complete. No radio, no engines. Only the soft tick of contracting systems. You remain strapped in. The pilot who launched into the night no longer sits here. Something inside tore clean, permanent. The weight of the squadron lingers in the empty formation slots. Ghost heavy on the chest. The breaking point arrives quiet, not in shouts, in this silence after. And the knowledge settles final. You will never again be the man who took off. Wheels kiss Israeli soil. Sirens already scream across the base. Iranian retaliation rolling in. Alerts flash red on every tower. You taxi the last meters. Canopy lifts with a hiss. Harness releases. Boots hit the ramp. Ground crew waves you clear. The noise presses from all sides. Discharge hits the next morning. Admin building. Same desk. Papers slide across once more. Signatures land heavy. Stamps final. Iron folder in your hand. Civilian papers now. The overhead lights feel sharper, colder. No words exchanged. Door closes behind you. Apartment waits empty. Key turns. Mattress lies there, too soft. It swallows your shoulders the second you drop down. No firm cradle like the ejection seat. Body sinks deep. Sheets tangle around legs that still twitch for rudder pedals. Hours pass. Sleep stays somewhere outside the wire. Morning drags you to the grocery store. Doors slide open. A fluorescent hum fills the aisles. Carts rattle past. Voices overlap in easy waves. Someone laughs about weekend plans. Your hands drift at your sides. They hover near the bread rack, trained for stick and switches, throttles, triggers. Not plastic wrap, not this. Fingers stay empty. Loaf stays put. You walk out with nothing. Engine turns over. Drive starts with no destination. Night roads stretch ahead. Headlights cut empty lanes. City lights blur past. Passenger seat stays occupied. And the ghosts sit there. Squadron shadows, plumes over apartment blocks, silent. They ride the whole way, never speak, never leave. You pull into the supermarket parking lot again. Engine cuts. Darkness settles full. Hands rest on the wheel. No need to grip anymore. Stillness arrives complete. The cost sits quiet, not loud, not sudden, permanent, like fine dust worked into every seam. The brotherhood that once held formation now lingers only as absence. Ghost wait in the empty seat beside you. And the story is fiction, but somewhere right now, a veteran is sitting in a parking lot at 2 a.m., not knowing why he drove there. If this made you think, drop a comment. Subscribe for more. See you in the next one.